Now let's look at the last part of the definition of the belief in the Quran, which Imam Ahmad mentioned, and that is مِنْهُ بَدَأَ وَإِلَيْهِ يَعُودُ. So the Imam said that from him it began, which is the Quran, and to him it will return. So what is the meaning of this? It means that the Quran began from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directly and not from anybody else. It is His exact words and directly from Him and no one else. And the reason that the Imam mentioned this is because there are deviant groups, like we said, that mention that the Quran did not come from Allah, it did not start from Allah, it started from Jibreel alayhi salam. Now, the proof for this error, or the proof that denounces such an error, is in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's words, تَنْزِيلٌ مِّنَ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ. Also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَوْ شِئْنَا لَآتَيْنَا كُلَّ نَفْسٍ هُدَاهَا ولكن حق القول مني لأملأن جهنم من الجنة والناس أجمعين. So here in these two verses, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, in the first one, a revelation from the most beneficent. Tanzilun means brought down. So a revelation brought down from the most beneficent and the most merciful. Not from anyone else. From Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim it was brought down. And in the second ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَكِنْ حَقَّ الْقَوْلُ مِنِّي, which translates to, but the word from me. So here the ayah is, and if we had willed, surely we would have given every person his guidance. But the word from me will come into effect, that I will surely fill hell with jinn and mankind altogether. Now these two ayahs are clearly mentioned that the Quran started from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directly and not from anybody else. Now, if we look at the second part of the definition, which is, and to him it returns, here the scholars have two definitions for this, or two possible meanings of what this means. The first one is that the attribute of speech itself returns to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directly. So it's the speech started from Allah and it returns to Allah as an attribute. The second definition that the scholars said or mentioned regarding this phrase is that at the end of time, the Quran will be lifted completely until no one on earth says the word Allah. And we know this is a part of the signs of the hour, that at the end of time, the Quran will be lifted. Once the hour is cold, it will be cold upon the worst of creation. None of them will even say the word Allah. And that is what they say is meant by, and to him it returns. So the Quran was brought down by Allah, and to him it will return at the end of time. كلام الله منزل غير مخلوق منه بدأ وإليه يعود. Allah's words brought down, not created, from him it began, and to him it shall return. So these are the four statements regarding the Quran, and it is the belief of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah.